Now, if you guys have not been watching my last couple of YouTube videos, you guys probably missed what I said about a possible bearish pattern that could have been forming. Unfortunately, after yesterday's Bitcoin drop, and we're going to be talking about Bitcoin because that is still the driver of this market, if Bitcoin dumps, that will still be very bad for the altcoins, as we have seen the altcoins here pulling back quite a bit. Bitcoin dominance rebounding, and we're seeing the altcoins actually pulling back more than Bitcoin itself. Okay, now I talked about a bearish pattern that could have formed if we actually dip down to that bottom trend line. How we did do Bitcoin did do that. Okay, um, a bearish pattern, which is the rising wedge pattern. This is the daily time frame. Very important to be paying attention to this pattern now because it is a formed pattern. If this thing breaks down, the target is gonna be quite deep. Okay, and that is not gonna be good for altcoins. So this is why this is more important than ever to be paying attention to this right now. Is this bull cycle? This bull cycle is on the line. Okay, that's why I am paying attention to this right now. Now, we are also going to be talking about a few altcoins later in this video, which will include Toshi, Osaka Protocol, which is the meme coin, as well as Mog coin. See what has happened in these markets. I'm going to give you guys my updated price analysis for these markets since the last time, because I think there are quite a bit of developments I think you guys should be paying attention to. That's going to be later in this video. We're also going to be getting into some major crypto and economics news that could affect the markets as well, because we do have quite a few bullish events that could be unfolding. Okay, despite the pullback that we're seeing today, I mean, this is going to be pretty common. Because even if you're in an uptrend, you're still going to see higher highs and higher lows. I am still long on this market. I am still long on Bitcoin. I am still long on quite a bit of the altcoins here. So I'm not really going anywhere just yet. I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion, though, and why. Of course, I'm gonna back it up on with what I'm seeing on the charts. But of course, everything in this video is just my opinions and not financial advice. You still gotta do your own research. Let's go ahead and go into some news first and see what's happening in this market. Um, so first of all, this is by Cointelegraph. Okay, by Cointelegraph, Bitcoin, Ethereum set for squeeze as traders go record short. ETH at 4.3k. So let's read a little bit into this context here. I think this is interesting. Okay, key points. Bitcoin attempts a rebound into a cluster of shorts as market expectations flip bearish on Bitcoin. Because I'm just wondering if this is referring to a long squeeze or a short squeeze. Okay. I wanna see so it is set up for a short squeeze. Bitcoin returned to 116k after Monday's Wall Street opened as bulls fought to set off a short squeeze. So it is talking about a short squeeze. This is going to be interesting because this tells me that, um, you know, the bears are really trying to break down here, but it seems like it could be a fake out or fake breakdown for the bears. So I am seeing the bears losing strength with this massive bullish divergence here on this hourly time frame. Okay, so something to be paying attention to. I think if the bulls are actually able to pull this off and break out of this falling wedge pattern, which I'm going to get to after this news here, I don't want to get too off tangents, then I think this would be very good, at least in the meantime. All right, next piece here is by Crypto News. Michael Saylor's strategy adds 430 Bitcoin while this dip was happening, because this was a very recent news. Holding hits 629,000. What's the catch? Probably something you guys might want to read into, right? I know that Michael Saylor is a big holder of Bitcoin. What does he know about, adding more to his position while this dip was going on? For the past couple of days, to be honest, because we're actually taking a look into the daily Bitcoin chart, we've been on a downtrend since we tested that new all-time high at about 124,000. All right, next piece here is going to be by Crypto Briefing. Uh, Bhutan, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is the country, moves 800 Bitcoin to new wallets, possibly for Binance deposits. I'm not sure if this is a for a Binance deposit. Let's read a little bit into this because this could be bullish or bearish. But it's only 800 Bitcoin. Okay. Let's see here. Uh, let's see. Okay. It's I'm not really sure if this is bullish or bearish, because if you moves 800 Bitcoin to new wallets for possibly Binance deposits. Um, I mean, if you actually move it into an exchange, I mean, that could tell me that you're either gonna that you're. So there are a few scenarios here. I'm not sure. So I'm saying the headline here is not specific enough. But if if the country is moving Bitcoin onto a exchange, he could be selling Bitcoin for either cash or going into altcoins, right? So it's more bullish if it's bullish if for the altcoins if the country is selling Bitcoin for altcoins, obviously. But if the country is selling Bitcoin for cash, then that's bearish because that's exiting out of the markets. However, if the country is actually moving to wallets away from exchange, that is bullish for Bitcoin because that takes the supply out of the markets. So it's not really specific enough without getting into too much context. If you guys want to read it, it's on TradingView. If you guys don't have TradingView, I have an affiliate link in the video description section below that supports my channel, and I will earn a commission. Now, next piece here is by Cointelegraph. Ether trader turns 125K into $43 million, locks in 7 million after market turndown, and this is what I'm talking about. Uh, I'm here to make money, right? I know the technology is great. I believe in crypto, but at the end of the day, it's about taking profits for me, right? I have a specific game plan into taking profits. It's going to be an improved game plan since the last bull market, because even though I made money in the last bull market, I wish I could have made more because I still got trapped. I still got part of my portfolio trapped back in that 2021 crash, right? So this time I am going to have an improved game plan. It's going to be constantly improving, okay? So at the end of the day, it's about taking profits. I hope you guys have some kind of game plan as well. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin price drops 6% from all-time high. Is it time to panic? In my opinion, no. I think we're still very early in this bull cycle, even though we have a bearish pattern formed. We're going to be taking a look at that into the charts. I'll give you guys more of my comments, but I still don't think it's time to panic. I think I've seen from last bull cycle that these dips are brutal, but they are part of it. Okay. All right. Let's come to Bitcoin here. We have to talk about Bitcoin first. Okay. I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of Bitcoin, because if this thing dumps, oh, the altcoins, oh, it's just not going to be good. Okay, so this is the hourly time frame. Let's zoom out a little bit. We still have mixed signals on the higher time frames, including the monthly time frame, which I'm just going to point out there is bearish divergence on the monthly time frame, but I've seen them invalidated before, especially during major breakouts like like 2020, 2017. So I am not ruling out that possibility. Okay, I still think it's possible. Of course, I'm still aware of those bearish signals, right? So I will be more proactively taking profits and exiting out of my positions if I see anything um, not good. Okay, so this is the weekly time frame, right? There is bearish divergence as well that is playing out, right? If we actually compare this high right here with this previous high, and we see a lower high on the RSI playing out right now. Okay, the weekly 21 SMA, it's the blue line here. That is going to be the next level of a good support, right? On this time frame. That's currently at about 106K. Okay, let's go down to the daily time frame here, where I have pointed out a possible um rising wedge that could have been forming. Well, it is completely formed now. Okay, and rising wedges usually break down, and the breakdown target, let's just say, for example, if it breaks down by this point here, uh breakdown target would be about 106K, which would, if it happens today, or sometime in this week, that would take Bitcoin down to the weekly 21 SMA. Okay, so something to be really watching out for. Of course, it's very bullish if Bitcoin breaks out of this bearish pattern against its probabilities. All right, let's go ahead and go to the hourly time frame, where there could be a short squeeze here, right? Because I am seeing crazy bullish divergence here, right? Um, Not that much volume though. So not that much volume, but this could be a short squeeze, a little short squeeze, right? If Bitcoin can actually break out of this falling wedge pattern here by this point, let's just say, for example, price target would be about 100 and almost 124K there. Of course, price targets are estimates only, right? There could be more or less. Very much depends on the market, how bullish the market is. Is it going sideways? Is it a bearish market? I still think we're in a bullish market right now, so I think, I'm still rooting for Bitcoin, okay, and of course altcoins. If you're long on altcoins, you gotta be rooting for Bitcoin. All right, let's go to Toshi first. We're gonna talk about Toshi. What has happened with this market since the last time? All right, so as with quite a bit of the altcoins here, we have seen a pullback with Toshi, right? I talked about a potential pullback last time we've talked about Toshi, okay? And also a possible cup and handle scenario that is still valid, right? But is still just a guess, right? If Toshi comes back up here to about zero point 0.1 cents, about and test this resistance about twice, well, two times on this weekly time frame, then it would form this cup and handle pattern because we have that rounded bottom trajectory. Still an early guess, okay? Let's take a look into a smaller time frame here, where I mentioned there's quite a bit of there's a few falling wedges here that with the price targets having already been met. So we're gonna take away those trend lines. But if you guys been following my channel, you guys know what I'm talking about, and I want to congratulate you guys if you guys have actually taken some profits. Um, let's take a look into a smaller time frame, okay? Because I talked about a rising wedge pattern here. Like I said, rising wedges are bearish. It usually breaks down, and this one broke down after I talk about it. Breakdown target would be about 0.00062. Let's see if Toshi gets there, right? Um, Quite a bit of support in between where the price action is right now, including the 4-hour 200 SMA. Okay, on this time frame, It has also formed a falling wedge, which usually breaks out to the upside. Okay, and if it does, the price target for this falling wedge, let's just say if it breaks out by this point here, would give Toshi about a 0.00086 price targets. So let's see if it does that, and if it does reach that price target, of course there is still a smaller chance of a breakdown from this falling wedge pattern, something to be paying attention to. Let's go ahead and go to Mog Coin, see what's happened with this coin as well. It has also been on fire. It has been on an uptrend for a little bit of time. I talked about a potential pullback that could be happening, which looks like it's happening right now. So Mog Coin, I talked about a falling wedge pattern on this weekly time frame. Price target has not been met yet, so this breakout is still valid because the price action is still above this pattern here, and the price target hasn't been met. The price target would be about 5 zeros and 245. Let's see if Mog Coin gets there, but it is taking a little bit of a detour right now. I talked about a potential rising wedge breakdown last time I've talked about Mog Coin. And of course, rising wedges, not usually a good sign for the bulls, at least in the short term here. Now, Mog Coin did break down from this rising wedge pattern, and the breakdown target is pretty deep. Okay, let's see if it gets there completely. It's going to be about 6 zeros and 4 6. So 6 zeros and 46. I mean, that's a pretty deep target. That's about more than half of a drop here. More than 50% of a drop here, if I'm getting my math right. Of course, there's quite a bit of support in between the price action, including the daily 200 SMA at about 6 zeros and 90 here, the orange line. So let's see if some of these supports hold the price action for Mog Coin to bounce off of and continue this uptrend, right? Um, let's just let's. I also want to mention that there is a possible falling wedge pattern that Mog Coin could be forming, right? Which is good and bad because it's good that it could form a bullish pattern, but it also means that this could continue down for a little bit more for some time. So let's see if Mog Coin can actually break out of this upward trend line here and avoid a falling wedge scenario. Otherwise, it could come down here to some of these deeper supports. All right, let's go ahead and go to Osaka Protocol, which is the meme coin. Let's see what's happening in here. Let's come to the weekly time frame. This coin has also had quite a bit of action lately. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, this looks like it could form some type of a cup and handle pattern if this rounded bottom trajectory continues all the way up to about 6 zeros and 49, where the previous resistance was, right? So something like this. So right now, that cup and handle pattern still just a very long shot guess right now. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame here, daily time frame. Okay, there is a rising wedge pattern. Okay, like we have seen with Mog Coin, Toshi. Now, let's just say if this thing breaks down by this point, the breakdown target would be about 7 zeros and 94. Quite a bit of moving averages on this time frame that could be support, including the daily 50 SMA, the daily 200 SMA. So something to be paying attention to. Now, this wraps it up for this video. If you guys want to continue seeing any more of these coins, make sure to drop a like, comment, or subscribe. Or let me know if you guys want to see any other coins in this market, and I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis.